The gym was alive that night, alive in a way it hadn't been in years. The roar of the crowd shook the rafters, banners rippled in the air, and the smell of popcorn and adrenaline filled every inch of Maplewood Arena. The championship game between Maplewood High and the neighboring Ridgefield Hawks had reached its final seconds. The scoreboard glared 89-88. Maplewood was down by 1. 3 seconds remained. Every eye in the gym was on Ethan Cole, the 17-year-old senior whose name the town had been chanting for months. To most, Ethan wasn't just a player. He was Maplewood's golden boy, the small-town hero destined for greatness. With his quick reflexes, lightning passes, and a shot that rarely missed, he had turned a struggling team into title contenders. College scouts filled the front row that night, clipboards ready, pens poised. A win would all but guarantee Ethan a full scholarship and a ticket out of this dusty town. But to Ethan, none of that mattered at this moment. All he heard was the pounding of his heart, the faint squeak of sneakers, and the voice of his coach echoing in his head. "You've worked your whole life for this. Don't miss." He took a deep breath, dribbled once, twice. The ball felt right, perfectly balanced. The crowd's noise blurred into silence. Across from him, Ryan Hale, Ridgefield's captain and Ethan's longtime rival, glared back. Their rivalry went back years. 2 boys from neighboring towns, both prodigies, both desperate to be seen. Every game between them turned into a personal war. Ryan had always been arrogant, taunting Ethan at every turn, calling him the small-town prince. But tonight, for the first time, Ryan seemed nervous. The referee's whistle pierced the air. 3 seconds on the clock. Ethan took his stance. The ball left his hands like lightning, a perfect arc heading straight for the hoop. Then, chaos. Ryan lunged to block. Their bodies collided mid-air, and both came crashing down. The ball clanged off the rim. Ethan hit the floor hard but rolled quickly to his feet. Ryan didn't. The buzzer hadn't sounded yet. There was still time. Ethan grabbed the rebound. The entire gym screamed, "Shoot! Shoot!" But Ryan wasn't moving. Ethan froze. Ryan lay near the post, his leg twisted at a strange angle, his head hitting the floor with a sickening thud. For a second, Ethan thought he saw Ryan's fingers twitch, then nothing. "Cole, take the shot!" His coach yelled from the sidelines. "Now!" But Ethan's heart refused. He dropped the ball. A wave of confusion rippled through the gym. The ball rolled across the floor, untouched, as Ethan sprinted toward his fallen rival. "Ryan!" "Hey, can you hear me?" he shouted, kneeling beside him. Ryan's eyes were half open, unfocused. Blood ran from a gash on his forehead, and his breathing came in short, shaky gasps. The referee's whistle blew again. "Time's running out!" But Ethan didn't care. He pulled off his jersey, folded it, and pressed it against Ryan's head to stop the bleeding. "Somebody call an ambulance," he yelled, looking up at the stunned crowd. "Now!" Ryan's coach and teammates rushed over, panic spreading. But the buzzer sounded. The game was officially over. Maplewood had lost. Ridgefield had technically won by 1 point, though no one celebrated. The audience sat in stunned silence, unsure what to make of what they'd just seen. After the medics carried Ryan out on a stretcher, Ethan walked off the court, drenched in sweat and shame. His teammates avoided him. His coach shook his head, too angry to speak. Reporters swarmed, microphones thrust toward him. "Ethan, why didn't you take the shot? You had the winning play. What happened out there? Was it guilt? Pressure?" Ethan said nothing. His throat felt tight. The cheers that had once fueled him now felt like daggers. He could still see Ryan's pale face, hear the faint sound of his shallow breaths. All he had done was react. But now, it felt like the whole town hated him for it. That night, Maplewood buzzed with fury. At the diner, people argued over coffee and pie. "He blew the game. A once-in-a-lifetime chance," shouted one old man. "That boy ain't got the killer instinct." Across the street, in a flickering neon bar, others defended him. "He saved a life." You can't measure heart like that. Social media exploded. Videos of Ethan dropping the ball flooded TikTok and Instagram. Some called him a coward, others a hero. Hashtags like "choked the finish" trended beside "heart over victory." Ethan's phone buzzed non-stop, but he turned it off. He couldn't bear to read the messages. At home, his father sat silently at the kitchen table, oil-stained hands folded in front of him. He was a mechanic, a man of few words. Ethan sat across, staring at his reflection in the dark window. "Dad," he said softly, "did I mess up?" His father looked at him for a long moment. Then he said, "Son, trophies gather dust. But doing the right thing, that never fades." Ethan blinked back tears. He'd expected anger, disappointment, not this quiet understanding. That night, as he lay in bed, he replayed the moment over and over. He could have made that shot. He should have. Maybe Ryan would have been fine. Maybe the town wouldn't be tearing him apart. But deep down, Ethan knew he couldn't have lived with himself if he'd ignored a bleeding, unconscious kid for a trophy. The next morning, Maplewood woke up to shocking news. Local TV stations ran the headline, "Rivalry turned rescue. Players' quick action saved opponent's life." Ryan's mother appeared on the morning broadcast, her voice breaking. The doctors said if Ethan hadn't applied pressure right away, Ryan might not have made it. "My son owes him his life." Within hours, the same people who had criticized Ethan were now praising him. Social media flipped. "Ethan Cole, true sportsmanship." Read one post, the kind of player every kid should look up to. By noon, the Maplewood gym doors were covered in flowers, posters, and thank you notes. One banner read, "Heroes don't always win games. Sometimes they save them." At the hospital, Ryan finally woke up. His leg was fractured, his head bandaged, but he was alive. When Ethan walked into the room, Ryan smirked weakly. "You should have taken the shot," he joked hoarsely. Ethan laughed quietly. "Guess I'm not great at following instructions." Ryan's mother hugged him, tears still wet on her cheeks. "Thank you for saving my boy," she whispered. As Ethan turned to leave, a voice called from the doorway. Deep, confident. It was the college scout from last night's game. He'd seen everything. "Ethan," he said, smiling, "I don't recruit just athletes. I recruit men of character. You've got a place at our university, full scholarship." Ethan's jaw dropped. "But we lost." The scout shrugged. "Maybe, but not where it matters." That evening, as the sun dipped behind the Maplewood Hills, the gym filled again, not for a game, but for something greater. The entire town gathered, applauding Ethan as he walked to center court. He didn't raise a trophy that night. He didn't need to, because for the first time, Maplewood didn't see him as just a player. They saw him as a hero, the boy who gave up the winning shot to save his rival, and in doing so won the heart of an entire town.